All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We are on our third webinar of our Tech Tuesday series, and this one is on AI, the co-pilot. And we are delighted to have you all here today. I would like to thank Tourism Nova Scotia for sponsoring these webinars. Before I get started, I would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that we live and work on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. These lands are governed by the treaties of peace and friendship first signed in 1726. We also recognize and honor the more than 400-year legacy of the African descent in Nova Scotia and offer gratitude to the ancestors who came before us. And my name is Lynn McDonough Hughes with TIANS and the Nova Scotia Tourism Human Resource Council, and I'm delighted to be here today. And I'd like to introduce Thomas Rizzuto, who is our expert with cybersecurity that's here with us today from Online Computer Services. Online has been the expert with small business and tourism and hospitality service or businesses for over 36 years, and we're delighted to have him back with us today. And on that note, I am going to turn things over to Thomas. And if you can put your camera on, I'm going to encourage you to do so, just so Thomas can see your lovely faces. Okay, Thomas, it's all yours.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lynn. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay and we can see my presentation. Yep, perfect. Okay, so I hope everyone's doing well. I know it's springtime and it's very rainy out here in Halifax and it was quite windy, but I hope everyone has power and is doing well. Being springtime, I know that things are starting to pick up for all of you, so thank you for taking time today to watch this presentation. Like Lynn said, turn your camera on, turn your mic on, interrupt at any time. I love taking questions. I love answering any thoughts that you have. So please, it's fully interactive, engage as much as you want. The presentation today, we're talking about AI for everyday use. What that means for you as small business owners.
All of you.
So AI is everywhere. We hear about it all the time. And most people I talk to have AI fatigue. They are so tired of hearing about AI because it's everywhere, but nobody understands what it is. It's not clear how we capture it, how we make use of it, or how we personally or for our company benefit from it. So that's what we wanted to talk about, are what are the small things that we can do. People see AI as this huge solution to many problems, and they think that it all has to be implemented at once. It's a massive undertaking, but I want to convince you otherwise. I want to tell you that there are small things that you can do, things that may not even feel like you are using AI, but you truly are. So I just want to introduce you to those small things that you can do. And this is all just about brainstorming and hopefully stirring the creative juices and getting you thinking about applications that are specific to you. I'm not going to give any super detailed instructions here. These are just pointing you in the right direction so that you can understand the applications a little bit better and specifically for you, that are relevant to you. So how do you benefit? What can you do? And here are some disclaimers before we get into that. I need everyone to understand what they're doing. So before you go and take this huge list of ideas that I'm about to give you and start implementing them, understand the implications that it has. And if you don't, maybe consult with someone that does or that has a little bit more experience in this. Primarily, we're concerned about the safety and the integrity of your data, meaning we don't want you giving away all of your customer credit cards, which I hope you don't have, but if you do have them in a spreadsheet, maybe time to change that. So we don't want to give away all your customer information or your employee information. So just be conscious that what you do with AI has real world repercussions depending on what AI you're using. By that, I mean that a lot of the AI tools that are available now, they're available for free. Companies are trying to entice you. They're trying to pull you in and get you using the product, which is great. It's a great way to understand a product before you commit to it. But that being said, there's often in the terms and conditions a line that will say, when you're using our free product, your data is fully ours and we can do with it as we please. And what that usually ends up meaning is that the AI is going to be trained on your data. So your data essentially becomes public knowledge. I had spoken of this previously in the first session that one of our my coworker had a bid and was curious what other people were bidding on it. And so they waited a few weeks and then they queried ChatGPT, and it turns out the competitors had submitted all of their bid info to ChatGPT, and because they had done that, it was publicly accessible to other people. So a few weeks later, they came by and they got all of their bid information that they could then use to outbid someone. So just be conscious of what you're submitting out into the world. Don't disclose anything sensitive. AI is moving super fast. What I say here and now and today may be completely irrelevant tomorrow. So just keep that in mind that as you go through this journey, things are going to change, and you might need to change the way that you operate or that you interact with AI. Finally, always have a backup of your data. This is kind of beyond AI in general. We spoke about this last time, that if your data isn't backed up somewhere, that your data doesn't exist. But it's so important that before you start handing your data or before you start interacting with AI, you have a good copy of your data ready to go in case things go awry. AI is still a new technology. At the end of 2022, 2023 is really when this became prevalent and started. ChatGPT was very popular at that time. Since then, we've come leaps and bounds. It's been very quite substantial how far we've come, but don't forget that this is essentially predictive math is what it comes down to. So there are mistakes. There will be mistakes. Just be prepared for that and have a good copy of your data. I'm just curious, does anyone already use AI? Do you interact with AI daily? Do you talk to it? Are you scared of it? Does anyone have any comments, thoughts? How familiar are we with AI? If anyone wants to jump in, answer, feel free. If not, we can move on. And that's okay. We'll just keep going. I'm not sure if everyone here was in our first AI session, but we briefly spoke on this. These are the most popular companies that provide AI services right now. So that's Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic, and their products, respectively, are Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude. You will see a lot of other companies. Almost every other company in the world right now is trying to provide an AI service. Understand that underneath them, the additional companies that are trying to make use of AI in their product, that these are the main platforms that deliver AI. So, for example, you have an accounting software that offers an AI portion to consolidate your records and give you a nice summary. Underneath, it is likely that they are using one of these products. So just to keep you aware that not every company out there is on the cutting edge of developing AI, they're just very good at using other products to deliver a value-added service to you. So these are the main contenders. Last time we focused on Gemini. This time we're going to focus in a little more on Claude, just because there's some new exciting features that might deliver value to you. So we'll start simple and we'll kind of move our way into advanced topics. So very simply, we all probably know AI as a way that we chat with it. We type to it. We interact with it like the chat messenger. People have varying degrees of experience with this. So some people have a conversation with it. Some people just give it very basic input, but know that you can have a continued long conversation that after you type in one thing, that doesn't mean that your answer is complete in there, but you can continue to have the conversation. And if you identify something that you want changed or modified, or you would like a different view on, you can have this back and forth dialogue. On top of that, and what is quite popular now, is speaking to AI. The job that I'm in, I do a lot of typing. I'm typing all day, and my fingers get sore, and I'm worried about later in life what that's going to mean for me. So, at any opportunity that I can take, I will speak. I will dictate. And AI now on all major platforms gives you the option for that. So you can have a full-on audible conversation with AI. You can do that on your smartphone as well, and um, it's very human-like in how it responds to you. It's no longer a robotic voice. Obviously, there's hitches and glitches, but it can become a very immersive experience, and a lot of people find that it is a much more natural way to interact with AI. So I'd suggest giving it a try if you're having difficulty with just the typing back and forth. So here's an example of something that I submitted to AI. A lot of people struggle with knowing what AI can handle. They don't know the questions that it can take. They see a blank screen in front of them with a box that's saying, type your question, and their mind goes blank. There's so many things that you could ask. What can I ask? What can it handle? And ultimately, it comes down to try it. If you have that question, if you're uncertain about something, give it the question, and it will do its best effort to give you a response. And if it's truly something that it can't handle, it will usually tell you pretty gracefully, and it will give you resources for handling that. Some examples being sensitive medical topics it won't discuss, but it'll tell you. It'll say, discuss with your doctor, things like that. So back to the current prompt that we have on the screen here, just as an example for small businesses. So I say, I have a kayak rental business on a lake, and we expect traffic to decline due to road construction. What are some ways that we can pivot or generate alternative revenue during this period? So just to show that sometimes you need a person to brainstorm or bounce ideas off of, AI is great in that regard. It can give you all the information that's publicly available on the internet in a nice, concise form. The problem that a lot of people have with Google is they don't want to sift through 24 pages to try and get some possibly valid, some invalid, some outdated information. AI is quite good at scraping all of that together and then giving it to you in a concise format. So this business question, I might have had to discuss that with my business partner previously, or if I don't have one, maybe I would bounce that off my spouse. But because I have AI here in front of me, I'm given the opportunity to get some really neat insights that even the people I converse with, real people that I converse with, they might not offer these insights or these values here. So you can see that they're suggesting, or I'm not sure if you can actually see this too clearly, but AI is suggesting some alternative revenue streams. So partnering with local businesses, offering corporate events. I know that the tourism industry and the hospitality industry, it can fluctuate seasonally or event dependent, or if there's a pandemic or things like that. So just consider going forward, if there's ever a moment where you're uncertain of, or there is uncertainty, pose the question to AI. Let it help guide you, or let it help brainstorm with you. You don't have to take, and I don't recommend taking the output from AI as gospel, but take it as a way to stir your own creativity. Remember that you are still the human, that you drive the business, that you make the decisions, but there's some great insights available just by using AI. Like I said earlier, I personally prefer interacting via voice. So this is Claude. In the bottom right, you can see a symbol there that looks kind of like audio. By clicking that, my microphone activates. I can do this on my computer or on my mobile. My microphone activates, and I can just speak to it naturally. So earlier today, I said, what's the weather forecast in Halifax? And it spoke back to me. It was a man speaking back to me. You can change the voice to female, male, whatever you want. And it's a very different way of interacting with AI than we're accustomed to when we see this text box in front of us and we expect to have it to type out quite a lot. With AI, the more specific you get with your prompts, the better. Just consider if you were the AI on the other side and some person that you've never met, that you know nothing about, visited your webpage and gave you a one-sentence question, it's very hard to answer that. So being very detailed in your prompts will get you higher quality results. Give it as much context about you as you can. If it's about your business, explain what your business is, what your business model is, what your revenue model is. Give it all the insights so that it can give you the most accurate and the best response for you. All that to say that that's a lot of typing. I think that's too much typing for me personally, so that's why I like to dictate it. That's a really great option. If you've never played around with it, just try it. If you don't have a microphone on your computer, you can download their app on your phone, and there's a similar looking button there, and it just lets you have that natural conversation. It's a really cool experience. So again, back to the I don't know where to start. A lot of people don't realize the applications that it could have. So write a description for our online shop. If you keep an e-commerce shop and you have all these items, typing out a description or writing out a description for each of your items can become time consuming. It's labor intensive. But if you give it just a little bit of information about one item, it can give you, a paragraph. It may not be perfect. It may not be exactly tailored to you, but it is a fantastic starting point. It's a great way for you to jump in and just save you time. That's what this all comes down to, is saving you time. We're essentially trading off the monetary value of what we pay for AI for saving our time. That's the ultimate goal here, is to make your life easier and save you time. Second option here, or example here, is write an Instagram caption for this whale watching group photo. You can upload documents, photos to AI. It has what's known as computer vision. It can recognize objects. It can see the scene. It can understand quite a bit of nuance. It's developed quite far that there's details that it can pick up on that are quite intricate. So you could ask for an Instagram caption and it could give you something snarky, direct. You can set the tone. If you're asking for communications back from AI, it's often important to set the tone. You can say, if you have a brand language that you use where you're snarky or you're fun in your messaging, you can integrate that as well. You can say, here's an example of what my previous posts have been using similar language or tone. Give me something new. And the last one, kind of an example of how it can direct your communications. We often get emails in that kind of evoke emotion in us, and we type out a long, angry email. AI is a great tool to dial that back and give a more professional response. Or in another case, if you need to quickly draft up something that just takes a little more effort than you have, it's great at putting out that initial draft for you. Again, customize it away, do whatever you need to it, but it's a starting point. It's a jumping point for you to get going and save you time. Again, if you don't know how to use AI, ask AI. It's a really cool experience because you can ask AI and you can say, I'm trying to use AI to accomplish this, but I'm not getting the results I want. Give me a better prompt. From that short description, AI can generate a much wordier input that you can then pass back to AI. And because it's so detailed, it can then give you an even more concise and accurate output. So AI is a fantastic tool to make better use of AI. We spoke on this the first session, but you'll see AI all over the place, and good AI will always cite its sources. So here was a prompt earlier today. I wanted to know the safe internal temperature for chicken according to Health Canada. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but it says search the web. It actually went out and did a live real-time search of the resources available, and it referenced the canada.ca Health Canada webpage. After doing that, it gave me that resource, and it's the blue one in the center there. I can click on that and it will take me there so I can, as a human, verify that fact before I act on it, before I implement it in my business procedures or policies. So always be on the lookout for citations, just like in school, we were always told to cite. So it's very important that if you're going to take factual information, that it is backed up by these good sources. Any questions or thoughts so far? Are we in too deep? Are we at the surface layer?
You can type them if you don't want to ask them.
Yeah, if you have anything, throw it in chat. And if not, that's okay. We can keep going. So some smaller use cases that maybe you just don't consider. Translations. Canada, we have French as a national language as well. If your signage, your documents, anything needs to be translated, it's a great resource for that. Typically, you'd have to pay someone to do that to make it sound like it's not Babelfish. But AI is incredibly good with language. So you can put in your text, you can say, translate this to French, and it pops out. Maybe it's worth checking with someone to make sure it's accurate and not offensive, but still, it's a great starting point. It gets you going in the right direction. Also, I'm sure a lot of you have customers that are international, from cruise lines from afar. They fly in the summer. Just think, if you were that customer, it would feel a lot more welcoming if signage and documents were available to them in their native language. It makes people a lot more at ease. Just a thought. Another use here is scheduling across time zones. I'm horrible with time and time zones. So I always ask AI, I say, I have these 4 people in different time zones. Draft up an email that makes it clear to everyone when the meeting is, and it will list out my availability, and to them it will say, this will be in your time zone here. Just another quick, easy use. Excuse me. If there's complex jargon or requirements, regulations, things that you don't understand, there may be, a couple dozen pages long, which is fairly common. AI is great at breaking that down into bullet points, into simple to digest things. You can paste a web, excuse me, you can paste a web link in there. It will go read the web page and digest that for you and give you the simple breakdown on it, the quick and easy. Also, you can upload files. If you have a 20-page requirement document or proposal document, put it up there. Let it break it down and give you the important points. When it comes down to it, always read the important points yourself, but it's, again, a time saver. Just get you going in the right direction. Sorry, just one second. I'm going to take a drink here. One use case that I use all the time is I do a lot of napkin math. So I'll have a piece of loose leaf in front of me and I will jot down quick calculations. I'll do maybe a page full, and it'll all be handwritten. And at the end, I'm not totally sure of the math. I don't know if it checks out. So I will take my phone, I'll snap a picture of it, and I will upload that to AI and say, does my math check out? Is this correct? And it'll come back and it'll either say, yep, it checks out, the math is right. The assumptions underneath that I've made, that's on me, but it's a good way of quickly translating that written document with those calculations and seeing if it's valid, if it's right. Very cool use case. Just back to the language, just because it is so prevalent in your industry. Google Translate, which we're all familiar with, back in the fall of last year of 2025, they introduced a live language mode. So it's a really cool mode, and if you already have Google Translate on your phone, it is available to you. I'm sure people have played with this. If not, it's a way for you to communicate with people in different languages in real time. So you can turn it on, and it will listen to both languages. So in this example, we were doing English and French. I had one person speak French, so that's the white line at the top there where they spoke. And then on the screen, it just translates it directly to English. I can then just respond. So we're both basically looking at this phone screen, reading what comes up on it, and we can just have almost a natural conversation. So if you ever find that you have guests that are in a foreign language, that there's just too much of a barrier there, this is a great way to do it. If you just have a device, let's say you're a hotel, you have a device at your front desk, just ready to go, ready to do those translations. You're empowering your employees, you're engaging better with your guests, and you're probably going to make a memory for those guests. So just another tool to consider. This is AI. Everyone talks about AI. This is it. This is a real implementation of it. It doesn't have AI branding all over it, but these are just the small tools that you can use to better your business and relieve a little bit of stress. So another application is AI in your meetings. I put some examples on the screen here. So Otter.ai, Read.ai, Fireflies.ai, not endorsements at all, just some fairly popular products that all kind of accomplish the same thing here. Check them out if you want. A lot of them have free trials, obviously with some limits, but it is essentially a way for you to streamline your meetings. If you do a lot of Zoom meetings, team meetings, online meetings, it will join those meetings as an attendee. And I think someone here in this meeting actually already has one of these present, which is really cool to see. But it will join your meetings and it will record the entire meeting. It will transcribe the entire meeting to text, and then it will generate summaries. So at the end of the meeting, I will get an email from the service and it will say, this person talked about this, that, and this. Here are the action items that were discussed, what people said they will do and what they've committed to do. And it just gives a fantastic quick summary. So it frees you in the meeting from having to make manual notes like we're all accustomed to. And instead you get to focus on the meeting. You get to be present in the meeting. So here's an example of what it looks like. In the background there, you can see a meeting ongoing, and in the bottom right, that's the attendee. It comes up like another person. It just looks like another faceless person in the meeting. So it will sit there, wait for the meeting to be finished, and then it might be a little hard to see here, but on the left, that's the summary I get. It says summary, topics, action items, key questions, so discussions, things like that. It just gives you really valuable insight. And of course, you can go back and watch the recording if you want. But another really cool topic or cool feature is that a lot of these offer a search function, meaning that all the text, all the speech that was converted to text is searchable, meaning if I had a meeting a couple months ago, I can type in this search and I can say, I had a meeting a few months back where I talked about this and that. Can you remind me what the key points from that were? And it will happily generate that for you and give you a link. It's a very different way of having your meetings organized. Most people are, they have a meeting, they have their notes, and when they need to reference those notes, it will be a matter of one, finding the notes. Is that notebook even still around? And then sometimes you can't even parse your own notes. I have chicken scratch. So when I make a note, I can't discern that it is 3 months later. So if it's already in text, if it's transcribed, if it's there, if it's searchable, if it's present and available to me, the chances of me using that are so much higher. So just another great example of how you can benefit from these small incremental wins, these small tools, additions that you can do day to day. Another interesting part of these AI services that join your meetings is that a lot of them offer in-person accompaniments as well, meaning that you can have an app on your phone, and this is all to assume that you're not having a Zoom meeting, you're not having a Teams meeting, you're having a real in-person meeting, but you still want to benefit from the transcription, the searchability of those transcriptions. You can hit record on your phone, place it on the table, and then all of a sudden your meeting has just become searchable without you having to write a single thing down. I'm not sure if anyone's been to the doctor yet. Maybe your doctor is part of this or is not, but in Nova Scotia, doctors are starting to implement AI note-taking tools. Last time I was at my doctor, which was a few weeks ago, as soon as I walked in, the doctor said, "Are you okay with an AI tool taking notes?" It's a lot to go through your head at that time. I said, "Sure, of course, but what does this mean?" Um, for them, it's no more manual entry. They said that after every appointment, they would waste 5 to 7 minutes just typing in what happened in that previous appointment. So by using these tools, they're saving that 5 to 7 minutes for every appointment. And uh, that's, let's say, 16 appointments a day. If we're doing 2 an hour times 7 minutes, we're quickly saving time and saving our hands from typing. So any questions on these tools, these methodologies? And no worries if not. So quick fact here, we had spoken of giving AI access to your documents, to your PDFs, things like that. In almost every AI interface, there is a way to do that. So in this example, in the bottom left, there's a little plus icon, and that lets you add context to your conversation. The first one listed there is add files or photos. And from my PC, from my phone, I can upload almost anything. And it's incredible what it can take. It can take Word documents, PDFs, photos, and it can interpret all of them to make meaningful data. I frequently take a picture of a document, and if you've ever tried to convert a picture of a document before into something that's usable in Word, you know the struggle, but I can ask AI for a summary of it. I can say extract the text from it. It's a really, really powerful tool to use, not just for voice or typing, but along with other formats that we might not expect. So AI in your documents. We spoke briefly on this, but next time you go to draft something, just consider explaining what the document is that you're going to draft and ask AI for that draft instead. I see a question here, can it edit pictures? So most generic AIs can edit pictures to an extent. What they're really great at doing is modifying pictures based on your description. So it doesn't give you a direct like point and click and say, I want this, but you kind of have to describe exactly what you want, and it can be a very finicky process. So it's not always the result that you're looking for, and it takes some playing around with. There are some tools out there that are more advanced and are a lot better at accomplishing things with visuals, with graphics. We do touch on that in a little bit here. But yes, yes, it is limited, so just keep that in mind. Generating document outlines and itineraries, and not only generating the initial document, but giving your existing documents back to AI. Like I said, you can upload your documents. So if you have a document that's outdated from 10 years ago, you can throw it in and say, I need this updated for this year with current regulations, current this, current that. Also check for spelling. AI is fantastic at proofreading for spelling, grammatical. So just consider that next time you have to go publish something or send something. You might not have to start from scratch. You can get a very quick outline or a base layer document ready for you in seconds. It's quite an experience to have a document that you would have otherwise spent minutes, hours working on, and it can just be spat out at you in seconds. And of course, it's not going to be perfectly tailored to you, but it is a great jumping point. This one is rather new, spreadsheets. I hate spreadsheets, but I know how critical they are to a lot of business. A lot of our information, our financials, our inventory, our customer list, whether we like it or not, they usually end up in spreadsheets in Excel. You can upload your spreadsheets to Excel. You can get insights out of them. Not everyone has the capability or even the bandwidth to get analytics out of your data. Like if you really want to know if what your customer base is based on your average sales or things like that. If you just give AI the data, and again, be conscious when doing this that there are consequences to this, but that it can give you these valuable insights. So Excel has a direct integration with Claude now, where on the right-hand side, again, a text box comes up and asks you what you want to do. I think the most valuable part for me is that it can help you fix invalid Excel formulas. So often I'll get sent an Excel sheet and it will say that a cell is invalid or that there's an invalid reference or something. And I can say, walk me through the process of fixing this or identify the problem that's causing this, because otherwise I can sit there for minutes, hours, just trying to figure out what the value is supposed to be, how to fix it. So it's a really great, quick tool to fix those errors, along with generating insights based on your data. So if you get a financial report and it's not quite making sense, you can ask AI to break it down a little bit more to a more fundamental level, or you could ask it to pivot your analytics back to a different year, or ask it to present the data differently. It's a very cool experience when you are accustomed to having to do a lot of manual work. Graphics. So we touched on this earlier with the question there, but there's a lot of graphics programs out there now. I think it's kind of Photoshop is the ubiquitous one that everyone knows, but there's some alternatives. Photoshop does have AI, and it can be extremely useful. As an example, a few days ago, I had to remove the background from an image. I just wanted one thing specifically, and I highlighted it, and I said, remove the background, and it did. And it just gave me the one thing that I wanted back. So that's a really cool use case. But there are other tools that can do more intricate things like generate logos. ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, they can all do some extent of that, but there are some tools that are more tailored to that and can give you a little bit better results. Canva is a very popular tool in the design space for designing posters, brochures, things like that. And they also have an AI component now, meaning that you can type out your request. You can say, I need a 8x4 poster. I need a trifold, this, that. And through natural language, you can prompt for the things that you want to see. You can say, here are my branding colors. I need this. And again, it may not be the final draft that you send out, but at least it gets you going in the right direction so that you can communicate what your vision is with a real graphic designer. This isn't to say that all graphics designers go away now. It's just another tool that can help us get in the right direction and save us time. If this is producing the results that you like and that are acceptable to you, by all means use them, but just scrutinize them first. Just make sure that the wording is correct and that it really suits your business and your brand. Any questions on that topic? And if not, that's okay. So we're moving into the really kind of advanced stuff. This is beyond the cutting edge. This is kind of where AI is today and now. But this is more to get you in the idea and in the headspace of how AI is going to be applicable to you, how it's going to, what its capabilities will grow to. I'm not suggesting that you run out and do these things today. If you do, please consult with someone prior to that. The thing I don't want you to do is run out and have a catastrophic failure and then have a really bad impression of AI. Just understand that we are at the bleeding edge here. We are very new technology. So the two things that I'm going to talk about are automating manual tasks in your browser and extending AI down to your computer itself. So in your browser, I mean, you can see here, this is a Chrome browser, and this is on a Mac. So it may look a little different to people that aren't familiar with a Mac, but on the right side there, you can see a text input, similar to how you would on any other AI website. And there's two modes to interact with this. You can simply type out your instructions and it will act on them. So in this case, someone has asked AI to go through their calendar and act on certain requirements. So essentially, AI will continuously take screenshots of your browser, interpret what it's seeing and what it can click on and what it can do. So think of all the manual data entry that you do in your HR portal or in all of these different online products that exist. The possibilities that come from this are quite intense, but again, keep in mind we're on the bleeding edge here. I don't recommend going out and giving this full access to everything because it is truly operating your browser as if it were you. So any website that you've logged into, it could technically open. That is kind of the beauty of it, meaning that you are no longer restricted to using AI directly with itself, but it can now interface with almost unlimited online capability. So if there's a website out there that is quite archaic and you can't upload an Excel file for when you want to import a lot of stuff or for when you want to submit something and you have to do manual entry. This could be a way to alleviate a lot of that manual work. So that's the primary mode where you give instructions to it to act. And then the alternate mode would be that you teach it how to act. So it would essentially watch you as you complete a procedure, and it would, going forward, when you ask for that procedure to be repeated, it would repeat that procedure, but with some intelligence to it. It's not just blindly clicking buttons. You can say, based on, in this case, the name of the appointment, reschedule it if it falls between 3 and 4 p.m. So there's some intelligent processing to it. So quite a cool application of this technology, and it may become more prevalent and more stable in the near future. I'm sure it will because AI is always progressing, but the possibilities are nearly limitless. So question here, is my data more secure in the paid version of ChatGPT or Copilot? Great question. ChatGPT, last time I checked, the paid version is not used for training data, meaning that if you have a paid version, your data is not used for public training of the model. Copilot, same thing. The Copilot model with Microsoft is that all of your enterprise data is retained within the enterprise itself, and it's not used for training. I'm not sure this information always changes and is always very fluid. So I can follow up on that if you'd like, but that's my understanding at this point. So the next part that we had talked about was extending AI down to your computer. So again, this is available now. This is a real thing, but AI can now operate on your computer as if it were you, which is a little bit different than what we had talked about where AI is in the browser. AI in the browser can only interact with websites that you would interact with. When we move it down to your computer, we're now able to interact with things beyond just websites, meaning files. Files are the big thing. And also other programs. on your computer. So as an example here, this is someone's downloads folder. Mine looks very similar, where it's a huge mix of files with names that probably don't make sense to me once I've moved on from the file. And ultimately, I would love to have these organized, but if left up to me, I would ultimately end up deleting everything just because I can't take the time to go through all of my downloads. It just wouldn't make sense. So one possibility with AI in this regard would be to have it access my computer and organize those for me. I could give it the organization format that I would like. I could say, based on the content of these files or based on the current name. I know so many people that have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of photos that they would love to organize by year or by event, and they just don't have the capacity or the bandwidth or the desire to do that. So this is just one of those ways that AI can help. So next slide here, it organized all of those documents. It made folders for each of them for all the categories that it found and put them in there accordingly. So it's far from perfect. If you decide to give this a try, just understand that there will be many times that it will not work the way you expect it. So just be prepared for that. But just an idea of what's coming down the pipeline and how in the future you might be able to implement these for your business to save you time and ultimately make your business more profitable. Any questions? Is anyone using any of what we've discussed here so far? Is anyone, to any degree really, is anyone using ChatGPT just for questions or any other queries? And if not,
Hello.
hi.
Sorry.
No worries.
We have been using Gemini, and it works really, really well with when we're doing our like annual review. So we've been using this probably for at least 8 to 10 months now. And we don't give it like specific, obviously, names and stuff like that. But what we'll do is we'll do a review and we'll put all the information in and ask, we can put in maybe like say one paragraph, and then we can ask Gemini, can you word this more professional or whatever?
Yep.
And it's really, really helps with the wording. And it gives you back probably off one paragraph, can give you back 3 or 4 paragraphs. It's like triple the amount of what you give. And
Yep.
it's all very, very professional and well worded. And our supervisors are using it and I'm using it. And actually the supervisors are younger than me. So they're actually teaching me more about it than I learned on my own, in all honesty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's incredible when you have people typically younger than you that are using AI frequently, and they come to you and they say, "Oh, this thing you told me to do for so long, I've just been delegating it to AI," and suddenly you realize that you could have been saving 15, 20 minutes all along. So it's a really
But
cool
you do
experience.
have to give it the information.
You
It's
do.
just taking that information and rewording it in a more professional way, I feel. And you have to say the industry and what the position is and what they're doing and things about the person. But it's just incredible. Like, honestly, I wish we would have had it a long time ago because the files are really, really professional.
Yeah. And you're definitely
Thank
saving.
you.
Yeah, you're saving time with it. You're yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
very much.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other thoughts or questions from anyone? And if not, I will close out.
I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
So I have various administrative tasks I'm doing on my computer a lot. It can all be downloading files from emails, and they're on my desktop, and they need to go in various folders here and there. It takes a lot of time.
Sure.
Can I set up a process where AI could do that for me? Like
Yeah,
put the folders
absolutely.
where I need them to go so I don't have to waste like hours of my day fiddling with
Yep.
stuff like that?
Yeah, so that was one of the things, one of the last things that we touched on there. And I wouldn't give it full autonomy to do that yet, but just know that it is something that's being worked on and that is possible, but it might become more widely available and usable in the near future. I wouldn't jump at the opportunity to get on it just yet, just because it's so brand new and we haven't figured out all the kinks with it yet. But ultimately, yes, that's one of the many ways that it could to aid you, would be as you download files, it can analyze the contents or the name of them and sort them appropriately.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I love the idea that you could give it a document though, and it could pull out key points from it, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's fantastic at summarizing, at giving you just one-line bullet points instead of having to read through the fluff of a
Exactly.
government document. You can just really get to the meat of it.
That would take you.
Yeah, take you, minutes reading through it, identifying what really matters. It's a great tool for that. So, if nothing else, I will just leave by saying, start with one tool, one task, pick one thing that you think you could improve upon, or one process that you really want to see more efficient or automated. Just explore that with the idea of AI in mind. Just some of these ideas that we discussed today, how they might be applicable, or find that one thing that you really hate doing the most and see if there's a way to alleviate that pain from you by using AI. With that, I'm happy to take any more questions, but that's all I have.
Thank you.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Judy. We
Thank you.
have time for questions. If anybody has any final comments or thoughts. Thanks, Robin.
Hi there. I'll just pop in really quick. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the session today. I did learn a good amount of different tools that I could use. I didn't know that Canva had AI, and we use that a lot for posters, so I'm really excited to use that.
Great.
The spreadsheet as well. I did not know that you could upload spreadsheets into AI. I actually have a injury tracker that we have here that I've been saying for a whole year that I need to summarize the data and kind of understand where the root cause of most of our injuries are. And I feel like that could potentially be something that if I throw proper prompts in, that I might be able to pull it out for me and then think about some action plans. So really excited about that. And also meetings and kind of just getting some of the list of them. So yeah, thank you so much. I got a lot out of today.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad it was valuable. I'm glad you could see some use of it. So thank you.
That's great, Brianna. Thanks very much for your feedback. I didn't know about that about Canva either, so that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to thank everybody for joining us today for our third webinar, and our final fourth one is next Monday, not Tuesday, next Monday, the 23rd at 2:00. And that one is on cybersecurity for humans. So that one should end with a bang, I think, Thomas. And thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. This has been recorded, so if you do want to go back and take further notes, you're welcome to do so. It will be up, if not later today, it will be up by Thursday. So thanks very much again, everyone, for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.